Hello, humans and freaks. So, today I want to talk about the sport of bodybuilding. All right. And the topic is the sport of bodybuilding sinful? That's what I want to talk about. Because I've gotten this over the years from a few different people on occasion. So there's two groups of people here. The first group are basically like trolls. I don't take them seriously because I know what they're trying to do. So that first group is like a far leftist, liberal, God-hating person. Okay, I've encountered them a lot over the years. So what they will do is they'll try and use my competitive sport of bodybuilding against me and say, oh, no, that's sinful. You're a Christian. You can't be posing for bodybuilding, this, that, the other, but they're just using it as a trolling, in a trolling sense, because they hate God, they hate Christians, so they try and use that against me. So I don't really take them seriously. I mean, I can't. But here's the thing. Then there's a second group of people who I can take seriously, and I do take seriously. So, for example, there was a guy who recently, and he grew up in a Christian background. He comes from a Christian background. I don't think he would identify himself as a Christian today, but he goes, hey, so what about bodybuilding though? Couldn't that be considered vanity and, vain and, like sinful in that sense? I said, that's a good question. Because I understand what he's coming from. And I said, here's the problem. What pair of glasses are you looking at bodybuilding with? Because anything can become vain or an idol if you allow it or let it. So for example, if you did the sport of, take any sport, basketball, football, baseball, swimming, hockey, anything, any sport, you can make almost anything an idol in God's place and worship it and make it your whole entire, identity. My identity is not in bodybuilding. It's a sport I love and have loved for many, many years, decades. It's a sport I compete in, and I don't look at it at all with the pair of glasses that says, oh my goodness, they're wearing Speedos on stage, flexing their muscles. Isn't this like sexual? Isn't this like vain? Isn't this, this just, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not trying to be mean, but guys, like, you're looking at bodybuilding completely wrong. Okay, so let's look at what the definition of a sport is, okay? And here's the thing, if the attire, let me say this, if the attire, the Speedos and the posing trunks that we have to wear, if that makes you uncomfortable, if that bothers you, if that causes you to look at bodybuilders in a sexual manner, then yeah, it may not be for you. Then for you, you shouldn't compete in it. You shouldn't do bodybuilding because you're just not able to look at it the correct way. So, short answer, is bodybuilding sinful? No, but can it be sinful? Absolutely. Again, depending upon the user. So if you can't look at it in its proper context, then yeah, for you, it may be sinful. And you know what? I would say don't follow it. I would say unfollow me. Don't follow me. I mean, here's the thing. And I'm not saying this to, with any like malice. I have no problem. Like, if you are a Christian, for real, but you're one of these Christians who can't look at bodybuilding as it's meant to be, like all you see is something that is sinful, something that it causes you to look at bodybuilding in a negative, sinful way, bro, I got no problem with you not wanting anything to do with bodybuilding. You know why? Because that's best for you. You actually should not follow bodybuilding at all. Or I should say bro and or sister. You know, my brothers and sisters in Christ, look, man, I don't know what else to tell you. I mean, for you, you may not be able to look at it right. So yeah, I wouldn't follow it. But I know other Christians who compete in bodybuilding, men and women, and they, just like myself, see, like to us, we kind of laugh about it because to us, it's so like, whoa, this is completely different than how we view it. And how, you know what I'm saying? Like, so we're just like, we don't get it, you know, but hey, if that's you, then that's you. But let's look at what is the definition of a sport. So according to dictionary.com, an athletic activity requiring skill or physical prowess and often of a competitive nature, and then it says such as racing, baseball, tennis, golf, bowling, wrestling, boxing, hunting, fishing, etc., etc. So guys, bodybuilding is a sport, but it's also an art form, okay? It's both. And there is some pageantry involved as well. It's like a combination of sport, art form, pageantry. It's all of that rolled up into one. Okay. So no, bodybuilding is not sinful. Bodybuilding is a sport. However, any sport can be sinful for you. So for example, if you are a basketball player, and your whole identity is in basketball and it's all about you and has nothing to do with you glorifying God through basketball. See, everything we do should be about glorifying God. So when I do bodybuilding, I don't do it for me as to say, look at me and look at what I can do. I do bodybuilding as to say, look at my creator who created me to do this. God created me and gave me the genetics and the discipline and the passion and the love to do bodybuilding. That's from him. So I can't take credit for that, and I don't take credit for that. All credit goes to Jesus Christ, my creator, for bodybuilding. You see what I'm saying? I don't do it look, even before I was a Christian, my friends in high school, when I did bodybuilding in high school, they know me. They knew me. When I did bodybuilding, it was always for the sport. It was never for like, hey, look at me. Hey, I actually hate this stuff, okay? Because it cheapens bodybuilding, okay? When people use bodybuilding for like girls or the club or to peacock and be like Mr. Macho Man to make themselves feel better and look better than other men, like, dude, that stuff drives me insane. I hate that stuff. I want nothing to do with that stuff. You know why? Because it cheapens the sport of bodybuilding. It'd be like this. Let's say a basketball player or a football player, or take any other sport, and they were serious about that sport, and then they see a bunch of guys doing their sport, but for nothing to do with the competitive aspect of it. So let's say basketball. Like, do you think a basketball player looks at other people who play basketball specifically for the reasons, shallow, stupid reasons of like to puff themselves up over other people? Like, oh, you play basketball because you think like girls like basketball and that's the only reason why you're playing basketball? The basketball player that plays it for the sport is going to look at those other guys like, bro, to me, that's very cheesy and stupid and shallow. But hey, if that's what you want to do, and that's how I look at it. So like, all you guys out there that do bodybuilding for all those other reasons other than the sport of it, or for just to be healthier and a better person. See, you don't have to do it for the sport of it. But if you use bodybuilding to be healthier, to be fitter and all those things, that's all good. That's all great stuff. I love that. But if you use bodybuilding, and you're free to do so, if you use bodybuilding for, like I said, the club and peacocking and for girls and like I'm sorry, man. I can't take you seriously. I mean, I just can't. You're free to do it. I'm no better than you in any way, but you see what I'm saying? Like, I look at bodybuilding as a sport. Okay. So, anyway, to wrap it up, that's what sport is. So let's look at what is the definition of vanity. So Merriam-Webster.com, the first one, it says inflated pride in oneself or one's appearance. So yeah, I can see by that first definition, people saying, see, bodybuilding is vanity because it's an inflated pride in oneself or one's appearance. See? And I would say, yeah, but you have to look at it in the whole context. So look at the second definition. Something that is vain, empty, or valueless. Okay? So bodybuilding, to me, the sport of bodybuilding is not vain or empty or valueless. I actually get a lot of my values from bodybuilding. It has taught me a lot. Okay? So I don't have an inflated pride in myself. I, again, do bodybuilding to point people to the creator who created me to do bodybuilding. Okay? He gets all the credit, and I always give him all the credit. And then it says, or one's appearance. Well, look, bodybuilding, of course, is about appearance because it's bodybuilding. It's literally about your body, and you have to show your body and do certain poses, okay, in a certain fashion and get judged and compared to other guys, okay? So, of course, the appearance is part of the sport, of course. But again, it's not an inflated pride in one's appearance, okay? So anyway, just this video has been on my mind for a while. And there's other videos that are coming. But so anyway, the guy that recently asked me about that, he was coming at me in a sincere way. And I was like, hey, that's cool. Let me answer it for you. And he got what I was saying at the end of the day. So guys, anything can become an idol. Anything can be, you can make almost anything sinful and anything an idol if you let it, if you do that. Okay. Some people idolize their house, their cars, they idolize their money, they idolize their reputation. You see what I'm saying? Like, you can make any, so it's not about bodybuilding. You can make any sport an idol. Anyways, I hope that kind of clears it up. But again, to my brothers and sisters in Christ, man, if you can't look at bodybuilding the way it's supposed to be looked at as a sport, then unfortunately, I would just say, you know what? Yeah, for you, it's not for you, and you shouldn't follow it, and unfollow all things bodybuilding, and because that's what's best for your soul. You know what I'm saying? And I really mean that. That is what's best for your soul. You can't look at it properly, so hey, it is what it is. Anyway, all right, take care.